This is my review of episode 14 of the final season of Cobra Kai. Now, in this episode, we see Tori and Miguel being trained by Johnny. Now, as in the previous episode, we saw that Cobra Kai was back with Miguel and Tori as their members and Johnny being their sensei. And they'll be taking on the Iron Dragons in the final. So yeah, in this episode we see Tori fighting against Zara and Miguel fighting against Axel. Now before the match begins, we see a bit of a training montage with everyone talking and reconciling again. A lot of reconciling in these last few episodes. I guess that's obvious since this is the end of the series. But yeah, we see Tor reconciling with the Russo family and Miguel and Johnny just sitting there talking about all the things that happened in the past and whatnot. And yeah, so after that we get into the first fight. It's between Tori and Zara. Now, Zara's been in Tori's head for a while because of what happened with Robbie. And so at the start of the match, Tori gets completely beaten. It's a one-sided fight at the beginning. Tori can't seem to get a hold of it and Zara completely dominates. And she scores a lot of points. But in the second round, Robbie managed to get Tori's confidence back, and then she starts fighting like a complete beast. She completely takes down Zara. Zara can't even defend herself in this situation. It's like the roles are reversed. She blocks all of her attacks. She gets a lot of good hits in, and even knocks her on her face twice, which even Zara couldn't do to Tori. And then in the end, she managed a flying kick straight to her face, which knocks her tooth out, and she crumbles to the ground. And then Tori wins the match. Decisively wins the match. Zara can't even get back up, and gets good payback for everything that happened. So yeah, Tori's crowned the female champion. And then there's the fight between Miguel and Axel. Now, in the start of the fight, believe it or not, Miguel actually dominates, which is surprising since we saw how great a fighter Axel is. He's like a machine. We saw how much Robbie struggled against him. Miguel gets the upper hand in the beginning, lands a lot of hits, and gets in the lead quickly without Axel managing to score any points. But in the second round, Axel makes a comeback. I don't know how that makes sense, but he managed to make a comeback and he completely dominates Miguel. And Miguel falls to the ground, and you see Miguel barely being able to stand up. And so after 2 rounds, both Axel and Miguel are on even footing as far as fighting goes. Now, what the points are, they don't really show. So before the third round, Sensei Wolf tells Axel to go for Miguel's back because he knows he has a back injury, and if he targets it, he can be injured easily and he'll be immediately knocked out. And Axel is confused whether or not he should do it because he doesn't want to win that way. And so we see Miguel and Axel fighting hard, and it seems like a pretty even fight in the third round. They both land a lot of good hits, and then when Axel gets a chance to go for his back, he doesn't, because he doesn't want to cheat. And Miguel ends up beating him fair and square. And so Miguel is crowned the Cobra Kai, crowned the male champion, and Axel gets some bit of respect back from himself. And he says he's done with the Iron Dragons. So yeah, Miguel and Tori are crowned as the male and female champions. But it seems that the points are tied. So the only way to decide the winner is a special rule that's in the Sakai Taikai, which is both the senseis of the two finals teams will fight each other. Now this seems a little ridiculous to me, but I guess it's for the plot. So that means Johnny and Sensei Wolf are going to be fighting each other and to decide who the champions are and who the #1 dojo is. And that's where Ray end thinks the tournament for this episode. Oh yeah. And in the end, Silver doesn't want to take any risk and decides to go after Johnny's family to make sure that he doesn't win. But Kreese, surprisingly, sees this coming and goes to face off against Silver in his boat. And he managed to blow both of them up, killing both Silver and Kreese. Basically a bit of a redemption for Kreese, because he's protecting Johnny and his family, trying to make up for everything he's done. And so yeah, that's how things end in this episode. And now we can wait for the final episode to see Johnny once again fighting in the tournament after 35 years. Yeah, okay, that's my review for the 14th episode of Cobra Kai Season 6.